Hello world travellers, reward enthusiasts and credit score builders. In this channel, I cover all types of credit cards. I'll give you an overview of the card, its pros and cons, and my take on that card. If you have a credit card that you'd like me to cover, let me know in the comments below. Today's video, however, will be a little bit different. I'll teach you how to use a credit card in the best way possible and give you some tips. To manage your money and have a positive credit history, credit cards can be a helpful tool. Furthermore, depending on the type of credit card you can have, it might include fraud and purchase protection. And unlike cash, if your card is lost or stolen, it can be quickly replaced. There are benefits to getting a credit card. Using a credit card to make purchases is practical, and some of them even give benefits. Furthermore, using a credit card can be a useful strategy for establishing a solid credit history. It's crucial to comprehend how credit cards function and how to make the most of them if you're looking for your first one. Let's first get familiar with how exactly credit cards work. You can buy things and pay for them later when you use a credit card. It's similar to a payday loan in that regard. In essence, you're using the funds provided by the credit card business when you make a purchase with one. Afterwards, depending on when you made your purchase, you return that money to the credit card company with or without interest. You're given a credit limit by the issuer of your credit card, which you can use to make purchases. Your credit rating, income and account history will all be taken into account when determining this cap. Your available credit decreases when you make transactions with your card. You restore credit availability as you pay down your balance. Every month, your credit card provider will send you a statement that includes all of your activity, your balance, the required minimum payment, and the due date. Now, what follows is that you need to read your credit card statement very carefully. You'll get a statement describing the activities on your account each month. This statement contains the whole balance on your card, your credit limit availability, purchases you made throughout the period covered by that billing statement, the minimum payment due, and the due date for that payment. The smallest amount you must pay for the month is the minimum payment due. However, if you can, always pay more than the required minimum. On your card statement, you may find how much it will cost you to pay off the balance over time with interest. By paying your account in full within the grace period, you can avoid paying interest on any outstanding credit card balances. There is a predetermined window of time, usually between 20 and 30 days, during which you can pay off recent purchases on your credit card before interest is charged. Interest starts to build up if you don't make the whole payment. The annual percentage rate of your card determines how much interest you pay. This is known as the annual percentage rate, or APR, which includes the interest rate and any fees levied by the card represents the total cost of the card. There may be several APRs for the credit cards. You might, for instance, have a different APR on your card for purchases, balance transfers, and cash advances. In addition, some cards offer promotional APRs for a brief time after you open your card account, which can be used for purchases and/or balance transfers. Before I give you any advice, you need to understand how to utilize a credit card now that you know what it is, and how important it is to thoroughly examine your credit card statement. The use of credit cards is simple. You might be asked to swipe your card at the register or place it into a chip reader if you go into a business, for instance. In order to make contactless payments in stores, you can also add your card to digital wallet apps. Basically, it's like a card like any other. Let's be honest, using a credit card to pay for things is a simple habit to get into. Whether you appreciate the convenience of not carrying cash or are all about getting incentives when you purchase, it can be an easy and quick way to pay. However, how do your other credit card usage patterns stand up? Does the way you use your credit card affect your credit in a positive or negative way? When looking for your first credit card, there are several things to think about, including how to utilize it effectively. We will discuss some suggestions for how to have a positive as opposed to a negative experience with credit cards. Tip number 1. Pay your bill on time. Your payment history is the main component of your credit score out of many that are considered. Your credit score can be significantly lowered by making on-time payments, while it can be considerably harmed by making late or missed payments. As a result, the first piece of advice on how to utilize a credit card is to make sure you always pay your bills on time or before the due date. To reduce the chance of making a late payment, you can set up an automatic bank transfer or due date reminders on your credit card account. Tip number 2. Know how your card's interest is calculated. If you have a balance on your card from month to month, interest charges could increase the cost of everything you buy. Make sure you are familiar with the APR and how interest is calculated on purchases before you open a credit card account. As a reminder, the grace period allows you to pay off goods without incurring interest. Furthermore, be aware that your payments might be handled differently if you have balances with various interest rates. For instance, say that you have two balances, one with a special 0% APR and the other with the standard purchase APR. The sum with the highest APR would be paid off first, with any additional payments you make over the required minimum. Tip number 3. Watch out for credit card fees. Numerous fees that credit cards might impose further rise the expense of using them. The following are some of the most typical costs you can encounter: annual fees, foreign transaction fees, balance transfer fees, cash advance fees, late payment fees, and returned payment fees. Your card agreement should provide a list of all of these fees as well as the card's APR. Before applying, you can research them online as well. If you're thinking about getting a credit card with an annual fee, compare that cost to any value the card might provide in the form of a rewards program or other perks. Numerous credit cards are offered without yearly fees. Tip number 4. Keep an eye on your balance. Your credit usage ratio is the second biggest component that determines your credit score, behind your payment history. It calculates the percentage of credit that is now available to you. Keeping your card balance low in relation to your credit limit is often a better idea. A credit score decline and a signal to lenders that you might be a higher risk borrower can both result from maxing out your credit cards. Carrying a balance on your credit card will raise your credit score is a widespread misconception. However, if it indicates that you are utilizing more of your available credit than you should be, holding a balance could potentially harm your credit rating. By charging no more than you can afford to pay back in full each month, you may improve your score and save money at the same time. Tip number 5. Use the card for needs, not wants. Use caution while using a credit card. Debt can result from pointless purchases. In any emergency, you may need to use a credit card to pay a bill for a mobile phone that is due before your next paycheck. Use your credit card as a short-term loan to yourself, but make sure to pay it off as quickly as you can to reduce or completely prevent interest fees. Tip number 6. Use a rewards card. It makes sense to use a credit card with rewards if you use it for the majority or all of your purchases. You'll not only have to pay interest, but you'll also be able to earn rewards like money, online miles, or shopping points. Tip number 7. Monitor your credit card for fraudulent charges. On your credit card, fraudulent charges can quickly accrue, racking up scary sums of debt. You'll be able to spot fraudulent transactions more quickly if you routinely monitor the activity on your cards. Today, a lot of credit cards provide notifications if possible fraudulent activity is found on your account. Look for a credit card that covers liability for fraudulent transactions as well. This implies that any credit card charges that you didn't authorize will not be your responsibility to pay. Tip number 8. Use less than 30% of your credit limit. The ratio of your credit card debt to your credit limit is known as credit utilization or credit usage. It plays a significant role in how FICO calculates your credit score. For you to keep your credit score high, you must never use more than 30% of the available credit on your card. Tip number 9. Pay more than the minimum. You can prevent fines and fees by promptly making the minimum credit card payments due at the end of each billing cycle. Additionally, paying the bare minimum keeps your account in good standing. However, you'll be carrying a balance if you merely make the minimum payments. On that balance, you will also be charged interest. It may be more difficult to pay off your credit card debt as a result of those interest fees. The best advice I can provide you to assist you in navigating the world of credit cards is what I have just provided. Be cautious though. as you could also make serious mistakes if you're not careful, such as constantly going over budget, making sizable purchases without a repayment strategy, getting carried away and getting your balance dangerously close to the credit limit, and of course, making sizable impulsive purchases that your card can't cover. To have a fun and secure experience using credit cards, make sure not to make such mistakes. Credit cards can benefit you in a number of ways, including helping you build a strong credit history, get points on regular purchases, pay off high interest debt, and get financing with no interest if you use them wisely. Use your credit card to pay for things you would have bought anyhow. Make on-time, full payments on your bills each month, and keep your credit utilization rate low to get the most out of these benefits while still maintaining reasonable credit card usage. As soon as you start using a credit card, check your free credit reports frequently to ensure that the activity on your card is being accurately reported. In the event that your card is ever lost or stolen, that can also be a useful tool to detect suspect fraud or identity theft. With this, my guide to using your credit card in the best way possible ends. I hope it was helpful to you. Thank you for watching and let me know what you think of it. These videos take a long time to make and are a labour of love. If you would like to see my channel grow, please help spread the word.